वेलकम गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू द स्ट्रीम गाइस। आज अपन फिर से वॉच पार्टी करेंगे। जल्दी जल्दी, थोड़ा लेट हो गया, सॉरी थोड़ा लेट हो गया। आ जाओ वॉच पार्टी करने। इसकी बहन को लगूं, इसको यहाँ कर देंगे बराबर। छोटा छोटा करो, सटा सटा बटा बटा बटा। थोड़ा ले, इतने से लेट हो गए।
Really great trades. He's also saw this late lurk in mid though. Wants to find a timing with that stinger after the spike spin planted.
And he's heard the obvious rotate through Boba.
There.
YouTube पे देखिए।
Sen, no, Xlg are coming. What the grid do they want to challenge forward to the outlaw? It's a tough ask.
कुछ अलग ही
Zekin's
मार
gonna
दिया।
cut them down and then
टिबन भाई आ जाओ फ्रेंड्स, आ जाओ।
Get through that. Boba. John, space creator, get deep, take.
Let's go,
strong
let's go, let's go, let's go.
With that strong weapon, take duels.
Sen might look to show presence early in mid.
Easy 2-0 guys.
That's the
China
standard
माने
top
तो
mid
क्या
smoke
होगा?
thrown.
Kuka mentioned it on the desk. I'm interested to see how effective Midi is going to be in this breach debut for him. Hasn't played it at all with Trace's team this year.
They're gonna play off the fault line here. Sen starting to make their way on towards this B side.
Normally.
C's thrown in. Hackaway is going to be forced to remain in this position. Paranoia though coming through from that.
Chai with Anshu guys.
Trying to set something up, but their anchors up ready.
Nice one. Ah.
And John brought down in seconds. Raga finally joins the party, but his team is
First pick अपना था, फिर भी कैसे हार गए?
XLG, the way that they all just
Easy
swing
sentinels,
out of that
guys.
dark cover together. What is so impressive about this team, the fundamentals. Their players are rarely, if ever, caught making individual mistakes, overextending on their own. It's always a double face, a triple face. They love to push out of smokes together. Look at the way that they're able to support
happy.
Really beautiful
Happy
stuff.
And in that sense, this team is nothing like Billy and Wolves.
Exactly. It's so juxtaposed to how wildly aggro those teams are. Not that they
चूतड़े
don't
फाड़ दो,
off the
चूतड़े।
pace at times, but when you think about a guy like YZ who is just going to extend constantly, XLG are really the opposite.
XLG don't want to try and play for halls here. Two players in alley. It's an easy position to smoke off. The one way that was a little bit intimidating for them.
इसके पावा नहीं दिख रहे क्या
They
लोग
wanted
को?
to linger. Bank can obviously TP across the site. They've dealt with this tripwire. Here comes a roll.
चलो।
Players out of alley. Now XLG have lost that strong defensive position, the ability to set up a crossfire from Link as well.
Hoping that Zeki could have caught someone there, but XLG able to round the
Chai pila frames.
Tariqler should be pinging out bang. Paranoia, but just doesn't want to take this fight. Wants to cycle the dark cover first.
The refresh of that one way is massive. That is going to bleed some more pop, but Raga is already nipping at the heels, starting to make his way up from main. Narrate knows the pressure's coming. Turns the flash, and three players from XLG. Four, in fact.
It's second by OP. OP.
One more for the block.
हो जा रहे। इस
Absolutely stunning. The form of Zekin from that playoff run in America's
Zekin
into this tournament has
by
been
Zekin by OP in the
phenomenal.
chat.
Already 9
1,
kills
2,
on the board.
3.
Perfect swing timing. XLG
4.
so distracted there. So distracted by
Let's
their
go.
right to their left.
Let's go second by.
That Rolling Thunder to deny alley
तू
away
राणा
from
नायडू
defenders
देखा था
really
first
hurts
season?
them. They've got to put all their eggs in the
राणा
basket
नायडू?
to push off Link.
हाँ? किसन बन
I'll say
रहे?
a story I saw many times watching
light
this
skip.
team in China is that they would go down early, win an eco,
देखा हूँगा
and then
सोचा आज
come
आया
right
ना
back,
बल्कि।
barreling into the game. Got a few shares here,
Netflix,
Raga with that ghost. They want to go for going out. Push down A, take a little space off of this one way that Coconut's got up, standard to control this area of the map.
आशीष चंचल आनी भुवन माम सबला।
They'll always be looking to double or triple up, even in this sort of pistol round. Those XLG fundamentals have been
देखे तो मजा
instrumental
बोले तो
in turning them from a 5th,
मजा नहीं
6th
आता।
place team in kickoff to by far
चाचा
the number
भतीजा का
1
लड़ाई
seed.
रहता
Only dropping maps and a cheeky series.
सॉरी
to
बाप
BLG.
बेटा या चाचा भतीजा
Okay,
दोनों
he's caught by
में
the fault
बाप
line.
बेटा शायद
Now it'll slowly
Real life
slide
में
into that
चाचा
area
भतीजा?
given up.
There.
It was after that
नहीं नहीं
aforementioned BLG loss that they
Series
go
है।
on an 8-match win streak. Beating them again. Viva with the first shot, second in a
Nice
little
one.
bit of trouble, but John
Nice one
support
cutie OP
cleans up those two anchors in market. Sight now
4v2
vacant. Throwing the plant over
उसका
to
अल्ट आ रहा
Merrick.
क्या?
It's going to get him the nightfall.
That's the kind of
shit
training
Ult is ready.
Sentinels had to have into the site like this. No free rounds, no clean rounds against XLG. Zekken will be waiting on this now. Coconut
इसको
sets
दिखाऊंगा
up, of
क्या
course,
वो
with the
smoke
smoke
का?
level to be main. That does leave Zekken as the sole player in the site.
नाइस वन
It's a little bit of a shoulder peek there. Raga not in a position to
ओह
headlong into that one he goes, but Zekken wants a little more. Wow, this is get away. 10 health
इन्हें
in
होना
the
बोल के
green.
कर रहा अब
Of course, that overdrive develops. Fast lane, you'd think would get him out, but somehow Midi's just picked his spot perfectly.
The headshot.
It didn't have to be, really, did it?
बकचोदी
That's some ridiculous
इससे अच्छा
overkill.
मार देता ना उसको निकल
They're
के
just going to fall to the spike here. Sen will be very content to get out of this round.
क्या हुआ,
Dropping
बोल?
a couple weapons, economy bolstered at this point, and they get narrate that plant earlier, so he's got the nightfall for the next buy round.
Sen realised they really have to wager a bit to get into market. They're going to be forced to fight. with
यहाँ
fairly
मारा
doggedly,
रही
but the fact that Zekken's been able to get out to 11-2 after 5 rounds, that is exactly what you need.
लेकिन
from
मैं
Sentinels.
क्या टाइम आउट
It's really
डर गया
disappointing
क्या
that
एक्सेलेंट
his
क्या है रे
open game on
भाई
Icebox. He just
Xerox,
felt like, he was even
Xerox.
asked, like, would Tens be proud of you? And he's like, I don't
लोगों के
think so.
पीछे
I
थोड़े
wasn't
छोटे नहीं है
proud of it at all. But he feels really, really good about the rest of that series and can't blame him. Fantastic neon play so far on this Sunset map.
Timeout called.
It's easy brother leave it brother
Really been able to, in tandem with Viva IGL, install such a great system that has created a very consistent XLG team in their region.
चाइना
Lot to do
पूरा
out of
चाइना का
this.
रीजन है
Got a
गाइस
few ultimates to their name as well when we head
चाइना
back
का अकेले का अलग से
game.
रीजन है
This team
लोग
really benefited from Fracture being in the map pool. They really made it their own throughout their run in Stage 1 of China. So, Coach Voyers had to pivot them into adopting the Sunset play. Glad to see them pick it here. First cab off the ranks, so to speak.
2-0 easy
Still looking to see
next
how
लोटस है क्या
Is,
तीनों
integrated
टट्टी
into this
दोनों
team.
टट्टी मैप
It's
है
tough, obviously, to have to make a player adjustment
सनसेट
for a
और
big event.
सनसेट भी ठीक
You can
ही
see
है
the quality on this
तो एक ही
XLG
टट्टी
roster
मैप
there.
है लोटस तो अपना इंडियन मैप
It
है
is
यार
bold of them to pick
Promote
this
Indian
map
map.
into Sentinels. It was bold of them to pick Sentinels as their opponent.
I mean,
Lotus
I think
or
they were-
Heaven?
they were-
Respect it.
They were honor bound
अच्छा है
to pick
दोनों का
Sentinels.
कॉन्सेप्ट
Their
Team
entire
side पर-
region would demand
कुछ भी हो भाई लोटस इंडियन भाई
Mid-ready
लोटस
with
बोल
this
तो
ball
बीजेपी
line
यार
towards the A side. Crossfire set up by the two players.
3 स्टैक के मत जाओ
Coconut and Viva
मत जाओ
either
पट्टे
side of main, and they are going to run into a couple. Fault line does connect, but Narrate second able to get out of the way.
चूतड़ पड़ गई
Again, yeah, some
Mara.
space may be bored here, but Zekken's able to scale back in.
मारा
Who doesn't even
मारा
Narrate gets there. XLG are
मारा
just
मारा मारा किसकी गांड
a
मारा
fertile harvest for Sentinels as they walk into an A side bereft of defenders.
Swings were not perfect from XLG.
Bring them down.
Trying to jiggle out just a bit. Picked off by second and Narrate by covering both of those angles. At the moment, taking a duel against Zekken is just a death wish. He is in prime form.
मार मार मार
This has
मार
been the
पट्टे
Sentinels that
पट्टे एक मार
have still
चाटा मार
really
साले
been
को राइट
existing
में राइट में
under
राइट
the
में हाँ
shadow
राइट
of
में
the success of last
अरे
year's roster. I think you mentioned still in the press
Zekken आता
conference,
पक्का मारने आता
being
Zekken
asked about Tens and Saucy.
Yeah, literally,
Still.
like, what would Saucy think of this performance? Would Tens be proud of you? Still, these old legends of the past are being brought up compared
Saucy, bro,
to the current
Saucy.
roster. And I do think, I mentioned unredeemed at the start of this game, I do think that a lot of fans
Shazam,
are still
Saucy.
unsure if they're back on board
और कौन
after
है?
the
Tens हो गया।
disaster in Bangkok.
I'll find
And you could even
अरे
suggest,
पट्टे का नाम याद नहीं आ
like,
रहा
what would it take to get people back in Sen City?
जॉन की से पहले आया था देखो
Sen really
सासी
have not been able to earn their flowers yet from the fans,
Shazam.
but they are growing closer to that as this tournament goes on.
Night night. Find you.
feel like we're going to be talking about him all game.
अभी
now that he's
QT
up
है
to,
शायद,
well,
guys.
Nice little 13 and
ये
2.
लोग काइजल QT है
XLG have
शायद.
the 2 rifles they've carried over, picking up a couple late weapons for this half buy. Still so many ultimates to play with. And I'm surprised even that Raga hasn't thrown that rifle to someone else and just to use the overdrive late.
पुश करते चांटे बजाता हूं ना
Kind of teased at it a little bit early, just how dangerous XLG have been on rounds like this in our home region. So far, Sentinels have respected them, focused on their own protocols to clear some of these more dangerous parts of the map, like that multi-push into market, for example. It's quite clear they are extending every necessary ounce of respect to their opponents, the #1 seed from China.
Playing quite passive at the moment. They were waiting on any aggression that would come towards A main. Narrates Prowler reclears. Xlg just holds down the main. Nightfall is going to come through the site. A second sending through elbow. Second Prowler used to clear all of this out, make it safe for him to get right into this site, take the space for the team.
टाइमिंग कर दिया
Reluctantly gave up elbow as the U2 came in wide, but he never really left.
मार दिया रे
And that's Raga able to take a clean duel against Bang, who's trying to get
Loka.
through that one-way dark cover. Look at Celsius on an absolutely mad flank. He was just chilling in B main. And now, John looks like he wants to get
You're
out of
kidding.
30
dodge
seconds
from
left.
Jordan, come on.
Celsius का round है.
Coconut with only a sheriff. And he's got a sense that Celsius could be
Celsius
somewhere
का round
close by.
Nice one.
Not that close. Cybercage there for Celsius. He might look to play around that neural theft also. John holding it down in mid, but time is short. They've got to get John out of this.
अरे यार
Celsius would have to try and
One
salvage.
enemy
He needs to
remaining.
find Raga, but he's run off. There's no chance for Sen in this round.
He's just
यार
the
एंटी रे
movement, catching off the spike
Maki
in
kirkiri.
mid. John was operating slowly, a little hesitant to cross. And by that time, XLG have already begun
बट्टेबाज है साला भाग गया
B
पीछे
site. And
बल्ले बनाया
Raga
तो
just heads up play. I'm gonna just run. There's no way that Celsius can get this plant down in time.
अरे दो मार दिया रे
Hathaway had one of the only two rifles
धक्का
brought
लगा
into the
उसका
round by
दूसरा
XLG, and there was a ton of util to force him out of bed, right? Relay bowl, there was a Prowler. He hung around in the dark cover and then found a bizarre moment just to spring back in.
That instant snap onto the second, milliseconds before getting traded out. Same for Heavyweight.
That is a wild TP forward from Coconut. Pinged out though, they've heard it. Coconut by no means is committed here, but look at XLG fighting for mid. They've got Raga up there in the middle as well. Paranoia, Bangdo has got around in a bit of a timing. Then XLG out.
Oh!
One by one, they crumble.
Enemy remaining.
Middy's able to get two on the round, but Hathaway's going to fight for his damn life. And I'm sorry, are we not interested in the extremities of the map
Get
anymore?
it Get it
Sen
more
are
mate
just winning so many of these crucial duels. Everyone from XLG
ये तो शिरोन से पहले खत्म हो गया भाई
but it's awkward when there aren't really eyes on
अरे
titles.
2-0
The players
है
in
रे
market did not have the angle for a close peek, and so this is just so free for Bang.
क्यों मारा
Enemy remaining.
Yeah, he's ahead of the Paranoia that Coconut throws out. They don't expect him to be so far forward. And he's there like a second or so early.
Right there. Son have consistently kept the economy broken for XLG. Second feigning some presence towards A main. Popping that fast lane, jumping
इको है क्या
about.
लोग का इको है हीरो वैंडल है बस लोग के पास वो लोग हर राउंड हीरो वैंडल ले रहे देखे तुम लोग गाइस
Look at him.
हीरो गन ले रहे ही ले रहे
He just sent it. Sen now pivoting into B main. Break the cam. They want to accelerate off the back of this. There's no one to really anchor here for XLG. Maybe Midi can hit another lucky headshot with a shot.
Trap, trap.
Seem likely at all.
I mean, look at John. He's also got this rolling thunder to punish a potential flood
Spike
back in
planted.
from these sheriffs. Sen clearly realized the time for subtlety is well and truly over. Our drone Decken wants to get ahead of it. This is a little bit dangerous. He's able to back off the line. Here comes the rolling thunder. Narrate trying to get to a safer spot.
अरे
Decken
यार
taken down. Odorod's marker was where the thunder went. And XLG now with these sheriffs, recovered rifle. Raga still working with it. Narrow with a shorty. Flat. Raga gets on out there. But
Nice one.
steps up for three.
नाइस वन
Makes
बैंगिस
four.
बैंगिस बैंगिस
Sideline cut off.
हो जाए
No
एस हो जाए
step to the side.
एस हो जाए बैंग
Bang is waiting
बैंग बैंग
for his just desserts. Not quite the ace though. Beavis recovered rifle goes to work. Sen have still made it a 5-round game.
Sen have done an excellent job at stopping XLG in the choke points where they're trying to get back into the site. That Hunter's Fury just did not net any value. Bang, steadfast. Some attention being drawn away. Narrate fighting close to. Really well done. XLG have had no opportunity to get back in on these retake attempts.
An opportunity here though, Wyatt. They've got Raga over at the A side early. So might look to take some real estate off the rip.
To just play off of that standard one-way dark cover being thrown by Coconut.
He sees the Omen.
Now this time over on that B site, if Sentinels execute in here, there are two back site has a great cam for retake potential.
It's like Coconut just made use of from the shadows for information, cancelled it and is back at A.
There's going to be a push down mid from XLG. That's
Pushing mid, pushing mid.
deep. Look at Raga.
Hello cutie, the pushing mid yet.
Second at least knows mid. He's up.
Maybe might know hack kar ramla. Ringing kar. Right पे
Attack this timing is important. Now they know Raga has pushed up tiles. Bang went for info himself with that Omen ultimate. Now Sentinels have to make a decision. Back to B seems to be the call.
Like this from XLG, they get that pick and they immediately get out of dodge, ready to play for this retake. Sentinels, they want to opt to get into a B split. Again, the tripwires still here, going to be very dangerous. Happyway wants to anchor back side.
Nice one!
Top of the map, here's the timing, he can get into mid. Zekin has already gone to work on the defenders. There's Raga turning up. Found a moment to get top mid, dealt with Celsius and then followed through. For a terrifying Russian duelist.
I don't know, दो मार दिया रे.
Love
Neon कहाँ से मारा
XLG's play
दो?
towards mid there, throwing in some proactivity, and then retreating to play together.
30 seconds left.
When it comes to this site,
Almost निकल गया था.
second, adding more to the board, gets to 17, but even that two-piece
Wall
is
bang
not
मारा
enough. Raga coming to life. Happyway still able to maintain control of backside throughout everything.
I'm out of here.
XLG can definitely hang, but they've got a bit of a deficit to work on now. Sen definitely in a position to buy for this round at least. This time they show a little bit towards A, where XLG characteristically make use of Raga
किधर जा रहे हैं वो लोग?
to stave any
क्या
push
लगता
off.
तुम लोग किधर जाते guys?
Dark cover is going to be thrown top mid.
One way दोगे. इसको पकड़ो, इसको पहले.
It was broken. Coconut wants to get the info here. He's going
दियो
to be
दियो
stunned
उसको
up.
दियो.
Second can't go in too fast.
मालूम था, दे दे वो.
He is punished for his aggression, his recklessness even.
Yeah, with Coconut already forcing back, that doesn't really
Stun
feel
देना,
like
stun देना
XLG.
लोड़े को.
Wants to get here, only has the sheriff, and now Sen opt to just take the time. Still a minute on the clock, no reason to force things. Again, dark cover just used to obscure the view from top mid.
spam करते हैं.
But it needs to
अरे
go up.
मारा रे.
Tight angle connects the headshot. And now doubled up
क्या angle
backside
बिठा के
midi.
मारा रे.
That duo
timing.
ready to defend.
Timing.
The insert from Zekin all the way towards elbow.
Timing पट्टे लोग.
Door closed over towards market side.
चक्कर 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 चक्कर.
Coconut not spotted
अरे
on that
चक्कर.
flank. It's going to be John. He'll have used
This
all his
timing.
hands. It's an easy kill. Oh, it's the
30
spike
seconds
as well.
left.
Now he can
Five
refresh the
down
one way.
A.
Paranoia comes in. Sen can't really afford to respect that. They've got to go
Nice
for it.
one.
Second
आ जाओ,
back,
3v3
at
आ
least
जाओ.
with the Omen that gummed up the works. Now Stinger Sheriff and proper rifle for XLG, but Zekin is waiting again.
दे
at
दे
box.
देता एक को.
They want
एक
to
को
swing
देता.
while the spike is going down. Zekin can't connect, neither can the XLG players. Aftershock going to force him right into the fault line. Zekin in danger.
It's Bang though that's really under.
ओए होए bang
Who's being
भाई.
stunned? Apparently the fault line is. And this is more time. Narrate's now been able to join the rest of Sentinels.
Narrator
Sheila
easy.
gaming.
अब नहीं होता.
Got
Narrator
Fever
नहीं.
here trying to shock dart his way on out. Bang! Caught by that one. A whole 46 points of health stripped off of him, and now it's down to Narrate and Zekin.
Shot रे.
The ladder, who's just too sharp. 3 for the round, and Happy Way, as brilliant as he's been, he's going to have to bring a world-beating performance to deal with this.
Enemy
Crosshair
remaining.
positioning broken.
This is no problem.
5 health for Happy Way. Narrate needs to get in here, and he should be able to finish the job. Sentinels
Let's go.
keep it a 5-round lead.
Who's by a moment
2-0
away from
है
being able
guys.
to get a shot
2-0
off
है.
with
पहले ही
that
बोल रहा
phantom.
हूँ.
Perfect timing from Narrate. Zekin is simply inexorable on this map. 20 for 6. We're still in the first half. What's going on? He is unreal right now. And there was a little
क्या
tiny
मारा
mishap
रे?
from XLG that was
इसको ही
Middy's
मार देता था
undoing,
almost.
and the attempt for Viva to throw up the recon so the player on site would have to turn, look at it.
That was good.
But Middy
Really
swung just a moment before it actually connected to the wall, was fired off.
We got to contrast this with the start for
Zekken
Sentinels in their
पागल हो
last
गया
two
है।
games, Wyatt. They started slow.
कुछ
When
भी मार
questioned
जा
about it,
अब
Calvin
अल्ट
said
खा
it's
रहा
been
उन्हें
different each time, the reasoning for it. He really felt it was important that the boys were energetic for the first map, for the first showing on
तीन
stage.
है
It looks like today, whatever
मेरे
they've
कोई भी
done
नहीं खेल रहा
differently
इस
has
बार
Bring
worked.
them down.
The highest contrast is the Wolves game, where Sen could simply not win any duels. They're winning a couple right now. Second is unstoppable. Sentinels taking some control of mid. Dark cover, so they have safety on the cross. Trip is going to get this information for Happy Way.
Top mid
play. I mean, he just might want to swing. Yeah, this Trip would have to be broken, though. That'll give up the game. Second wants to go through. He wants to split this B side from 3 angles.
Relay ball doesn't connect on anyone. He's not happy. Not ready for Happy Way to be tucked in on that corner.
That was a cosmetic stun if I've ever seen one. Rogo wants to get into backside. He wants to
Khatam hai
anchor
gal
Happy Way duo. The two stars of XLG, the best aimers here to anchor.
nice nice
Okay,
stun
that's good. Happy Way at least able to make the
stun.
trade. Normally Raga's used to being set up by Happy Way, but here they're going to have to go with solo. Delta's around the cyber cage. Now Ray was able to get
Doable,
more time and
doable,
push up the
2v3.
right. And he is a multi swing in theory coming out from Marker, but they don't respect John's position.
I have
Even in numbers,
Nice
Nico
one.
has to step up to the stage, and it's a big coconut. Doesn't fall far from the tree. In fact, right on the
दोनों
nose
एक
of
साथ
John.
पीक लेते ना हो जाता था
Clutch for XLG to end the half.
The trade attempts are going
एक
completely
साथ पीक
awry
लेना
for
था रे दोनों
XLG,
को।
but Coconut clutches up to get them 4 on the board. As you mentioned, Sentinels here getting the exact contrast of the beginning against the other two teams from China.
एक
They
साथ लेना
are
था
white
पीक दोनों।
hot. Second is looking like an easy MVP shout for this map.
Good start, yes, but it's about how you close here in Masters Toronto. We're going to second half of Sunset coming at you on the other side of this quick break.
ये हो जाता है 2 मिनट में डिस्कस कर लेते क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है। जिक्कन क्या मार रहा है? जिक्कन पागल कुत्ता बना दे रहा सबको कितने किलो इसके जिक्कन के कितने किलो गए जिक्कन के
Eats that. He is. Have to be broken, though. That'll give up the game.
They push up the right.
I have
Even in numbers, doesn't fall far.
The attempts are going complete. As you mentioned, Sentinels
कितने
here
किलो
getting
जिक्कन के कितने
the
किलो
exact contrast
21 शायद
the other two teams from China. They are white hot. Second is looking like an easy MVP
21.
shout for this map.
Good start, yes, but it's about how you close here in Masters Toronto. We're going to second half of Sunset coming at you on the other side of this quick break.
दिखाना किल्स कितने जान दे रहे भाई देखेंगे बाद में मेरे ख्याल से 21 या 22 कितने हैं इसकी बिल्कुल लगू अच्छा मारा रे पर भी सेकंड पागल हो अब डिफेंडिंग देखना डिफेंडिंग में क्या होता पब्लिक डिफेंडिंग में पक्का गांड मारना कोई चैट में आके हाई लिखो पहले तो तुम लोग ये आउटलुक क्या है भाई चैट में आके हाई लिखो कासिफ कुछ लिखा देखो कासिफ भड़वे लिख रहे क्या हुआ कासिफ दल्ले ओए कब लिखा कब चलेगा डिलीट किक का इसे इसमें दिख रहा है क्या ऐसे बाद में बनाएंगे इसको मॉडरेटर
Because Sen were constantly putting them on the eco, so they weren't actually
ये कैसे हटाऊंगा
spending a ton of money throughout the half. It was just complete control by Sen. You look at the timeline, XLG, they're just getting one round win every couple, then broken economy again.
We're going to check in with XLG, who have been
रंगा
by
ररगा
the whole
कोकोनट भी है
stand in the way of this
वाइवा भी है
so far has picked
मिडी भी है मिडी कौन है पहनता भाई मिडी
Chinese rosters.
हैप्पी जो मेरे अगेंस्ट थे वो सब इधर इधर है भाई ना मैं कभी वाइवा में पास हुआ ना मैं कभी मिडी पे ना मैं कभी हैप्पी रह पाया ना कभी मैं कोकोनट खा पाया
show some of his mastery.
गांड किस्मत है
Go
कसम
quick,
से.
hides in the dark cover for but a moment, and then a double peek out with Coconut.
ये क्या smoke है बद्दा सा?
Going to acquire
Dirty
that
smoke.
orb. As the rest of the team
चाइना में कुछ अलग चलता होगा
watch
smoke
towards
वैसा.
mid, wanting to ensure that no one from Sentinels is getting too active, that they're not trying to throw an early haymaker at them. The second half begins. Shock Dart to break a potential trip, but it's not there. To break another potential
तोड़ दिया?
trip market that's
नहीं तोड़ा
also
ना,
not
trap
there. It's
तोड़ा.
just a cam watching, which Raga will delete.
But I like this
ना
early round
खुदता
activity
रे
for
बाबा.
XLG, just trying to take this
Not
Sentinel
body shaming
util
पर
off the map.
अगर अपना रियल का जो
Look at this on the opposite side of the map. Happyway is
बॉडी फिजिक है
in
वैसे ही
the
गेम में भी
sun
रहना.
while the
कहा
team
रहना
is trying
सब
to
लोग
execute
पतले होने
on
लगते
Eddie.
तब.
I don't know if Zelsis is aware. Oh, he's not!
मार दिया रे
Happyway's able to
Zelsis
get the
को.
jump on him, and now quick pivot back as you would
लड़का.
expect. This guy, he's been the
Vikali,
star so
Vikali,
far for
Vikali कौन
XLG.
है?
Previously, considered a brilliant but often overlooked player in Raga's shadow. Happyway's really taken to this
30
debut on
seconds left.
stage.
Now
टाइमिंग
it's
हो
actually
रहा है
Raga
बाबा.
who's left in this lurk position. Trip is going to have to be broken by Narrate. Just aware that he has some opportunities to take tools against players as the spike goes down. Planted for B main on the stairs.
सेंट्रियंस रीटेक अच्छा करती
Second
है.
hoping an opportunity might present itself. But
It
XLG
is
disciplined
possible
in
है.
his post plant.
Yeah, Midi has a full
तो
kit
श्रीलंका
to
पे-
play
हाँ,
with in this
possible है.
post plant. Just ready in B main with the
पर
stun.
जो क्लच मास्टर वही नहीं है.
Shock already getting drawn out.
पीछे,
now
पीछे,
relay
पीछे,
bolt
पीछे.
on the side of Happyway, the one who
Oh!
set things up. But all of a sudden, Sentinel's back in with numbers. Midi trying to hold it down. Has two flashes to work
Crossfire
with.
है.
And Raga tucked to his left. Surely you can do something
Nice
with this,
one.
but instead, Narrate just ruins him. John
enemy
taken
remaining.
down through the smoke, but does he know Bang is on the team using
Oh, क्या मारा रे ररगा.
I dare you.
Red Bull clutching the pistol to close the gap.
He's just like that. So late coming
Spam
back
में
to
नहीं
the
आना था
site,
उन्हें.
forced into a horrific position because the
time by
team
करना
were
था.
just failing to win duels against Sen,
enemy
spilling
remaining.
back in from Boba. Midi
जाएगा
caught
सिर पे लगा है.
awkwardly alone.
He ran him through with a bayonet.
Desperately needed pistol round pickup for
अच्छा
XLG.
रीटेक कर दी थी. 4 भी.
There are some smiles too.
चलो चलो कोई ना कोई ना.
Close one though. Sentinels really in a commanding position
Vandal
before
लिया.
Raga got to them.
Gotta go.
Fault line player finding a little swing here. Feed release though, not stunned up enough to prevent him from letting loose these bullets with the Spectre. Sentinels feed themselves into the wood chipper. Banging from awful good fertilizer out there in LA.
That was a wave of utility, a nice trap setup from Sen, but simply not the weaponry
मार
to
दे, एक मार दे
capitalize off
Zelsius.
of that effort. Zelsius all alone and
अरे
with
plan
little
करने
to
भी
no
नहीं देना
hope
था.
at this point.
की माँ का 300 रुपए ले लिए
XLG do a great job absorbing those
सेंट्रियंस
swings.
बंडल.
Even stunned up, dealing with Zekin, who was sliding his way in there, creating space so the follow-up swings could arrive. But it's not enough to do anything. Just a bit of damage to Midi. This is exactly what XLG need to get back into this half. They know they're right back in the mix.
Well, Zelsis trying to get busy.
Trying to get paid, trying to get a little
Yeah.
extra cash from the bundle.
Listen, it's about just maximizing
Oh,
your
yeah.
cut per second out there on this
Oh
stage.
yeah, he was min-maxing the classic 1v5 for sure. Respect.
So Sentinels trying to go for the gambit in the B main here, but the ball line is not really enough to give them the edge.
Flawless now giving XLG prime opportunity.
Avert your eyes, Cuban, if you're squeamish.
Look away. Prime opportunity here for a bonus round pickup from XLG. This buy is pretty solid. Upgraded rifle, standard first recon to get towards elbow. Broken, however, and Raga wants to slow down.
बंद कर दे मच्छर आ रहे के.
But for how long? Sees what he needs to at that shoulder peak. Fault line comes in and Raga tries to soar
Narrate by
into the
OP.
side, but Narrate clips his wings.
What a sick off angle from Narrate.
This
That
power
was lovely.
ये क्या एंगल बना के
was hoping
मारा
to set up a
नरेट.
crossfire with him. It's still a possibility. Elsewhere, Happyway is always a threat. I think
Zelsius
Zelsius
भी like,
has
अब
learned
तो
his
main में
lesson
लगा
about
तो
leaving
गाड़
that
मराओ.
side early.
He just throws down a trip straight up in
Info
main,
info ले रहा.
which are pretty easy to break now. You don't have to commit a paint shells or aftershock.
अब
like you
लर्क
did
करने
on
नहीं देते
the
पट्टा
very
वो.
old version of Sunset. That's going to be taken out by Happyway, and Now Xelsis
कैमरा है मेन
has to fear a little bit, though that cam is going to cover the full cross. The one he's got.
कहाँ
thrown
जा
up
रहे
in
लोग
market is
कंफ्यूज दे रहे हैं
XLG
पूरा
taking their
फिर
time,
से वही
peeling
स्मोक
away
दे रहे
from
बाबा
A, working into mid.
Zekin likely going to be in a 1vx scenario in a moment.
Cam broken. Happy Way working his way into B.
I like that idea. Let himself be pinged, but the timing isn't quite
Side
right.
पे
Xelsis
nice
realizes,
one,
ah, yes, yep, Happy Way is
कौन
here.
किधर मार लिया नाइस वन
Able to get the better of him. Win
कहीं
that
होगा
individual
मिड पे
by
हैंगता
out is
वहंगता
huge. And this would be a pretty strong conversion on the buy round for Sentinels getting back into this half. Fever's brought down. Carried
मार
into
रहा
to round 16.
शांटे
Nice clean stuff. Zekin made a
खींच
nice
के देते
rotate there to pick up the
कल्ली
double
भैरियों पे
face.
गुर्दों पे
With
पेलों
Xelsis
पे
backside.
कल्लों पे सब पे देते
Monsters.
ये ले
by Happy Way. This high impact kill. The angle that
इसको
Neri
देखो,
chooses
इसको
to take there
देखो।
is so unexpected, unorthodox. And because Raga is running forward on the
रुक जा रहे
knees,
भाई जान
no
आपको
one has an
पकड़
opportunity to trade
69
that at all.
कहते
Love the way he plays that.
69
Full
ले
body
लो
XLG.
69 ले लो
Economy on the line. They are maxed out. They've got all those heavy armors, everything that they
अरे
need.
क्या रिवील है रे बाबा एकदम टट्टी रिवील रे बाबा
Bolt not exactly having the intended effect.
हाँ वैवा का टट्टी रिवील ही था पूरा
Pretty similar open for the Chinese side, leaving Happy Way over towards B main. They worked towards A early. And they love to double back and just apply some pressure mid. This time, though, inserting Coconut into elbow. But it looks like Sentinels want to go for the re-clear. The Prowler does connect
गए बी मैन गए
to overpush this.
This mid pivot for Sentinels is probably expected, but maybe a little earlier than otherwise. Didn't think it would come.
फिर से जा रहे क्या
So they just
मिड ले रहे फिर
threw at Coconut to get him out of there.
Oh, shit.
Aftershock,
Gaya
both the
camera.
Prowlers.
Raga
बात कर
spotted
रहे
down early. Relay bolt thrown to at least give Zekin a safe retreat. Narrate here. Might have an opportunity. Raga's pushing in on me. He's so good,
Leo.
but Narrate's having to deal with him. Thought he was starting up briefly by the relay bolt. You really declawed XLG with that pick off on the Neon. Viva very patient on this line, but Xelsis doesn't give him enough leg to
30
make use
seconds
of.
left.
Remember, Narrate is in this A side. He's in the A side, creeping up on the Prancer. What a timing! Sentinels looking dynamic here.
नाइस वन
2 rounds in a row after a shaky start to the second half.
XLG just getting far
से
too
connect करना
disconnected
पड़ता
from each other. With Raga running all the way up through
कनेक्ट नहीं हुआ
mid.
स्ट्रीम रोकना पड़ता है इसके
Narrate is
D&D में डाल
coming
दो।
up in these rounds.
हाँ सागर
I was talking about in the press conference the other day that
ओए सागर
Sentinels had
D&D में
that
डाल दे रहा हूँ
tragic showing at Bangkok.
D&D में
early
डाल
in
दे
the
रहा, कैसा
year.
मैं फोन
He
कर
was
देना
so
कुछ तो ये
focused
तो
on his
कुछ
individual play. And it makes sense. When he was in EU, he was much more of a star with K-Corp. But on Sen, realizing his time has gone on, he just needs to support everyone else. But he still
let's
picks
go.
his moments. He still wants to find the moments to step up, but he's
Sina
not
box
forcing
से
it.
He always
Correct,
talks about how
please.
stronger the voices are on this Sentinels team. Finding your niche a bit harder. It's going to be a fast hit over towards the A side of the map, though. Wide second already on the line. Raga chunked down to 10. Jordan's
Cutie,
able to
cutie
finish the
है,
job. The classic 1-2 punch. As the Outlaw rings out, it's
Could not
Narrate
connect.
again.
Connect.
Always in an awkward spot.
All of XLG now just stuck in elbow. The entire Sentinels team here.
मारा मारा
You can
मारा
always expect Zekin to have the outlaw on hand on one of these rounds where the opposing team has a depleted economy.
GG
Happyway can
GG
only
है
do this
guys
for so long. He still
मेरा
needs
कप्तान
to
है।
help Midi get into the site. There is none of that breach util for the attackers to play off of, and only 2 stingers.
GG हो
And a team
गया
on defense that is
GG
respecting them enough to hold these lines, not good chasing kills.
कितना करता रे उठक बैठक
hoping
डैमेज
that
दो अंदर जीगल दे
Someone
जीगल
may
डैमेज दो
overextend
अंदर
and push into elbow, but it's simply not going
मार
to
रे
be the
बाबा
case.
निकल के चांटे
The
बजा
hope
रहे
for
उसको
XLG is going to be this
कल्ली भेड़ी
next
दे
round,
साले
the
को।
full buy, where they have both initiator ultimates to work with. However,
30
it's
seconds left.
likely going to be the exact same case for Sen. Midi dealt
कर
with
ले और
Happy
बच्चे
Way.
Hey.
इतने
Now
ऐसे
spotted out. It's
ऐसे
only
ऐसे
a
कर
matter
उन्हें
of
मारता
time
मार
for
लो
him.
जक्के
John
उधर
would love to get involved, and that's going to get him the rolling
अभी
thunder.
कोई
Next
अभी
round
कोई शायद।
looking to be explosive.
And to be clear, this of course is XLG's map pick. It's a map that we don't really see anything of them prior, and have just started to see Sentinels pick this map themselves after banning it in their first game in Toronto.
That was a ridiculous first kill from John. Just spam through the box and caught a headshot on Raga. That is tough.
Not the first time it's happened in this game. Happened there on the attack side, and Raga was walking up for a swing.
That time out, Baba.
Timeout called here by XLG. You can see some frustration starting to bubble forth from Havoya. Realizing that, yes, Lotus is a great map for XLG. It's one that Sen are happy to pick into them. They're really hoping to show us a little bit more on this Sunset. So far, it's been a happy way. Just opening up the map for XLG in the few rounds that they've been able to look dominant in.
And that's really touching on one of the criticisms that has been levied against XLG during this run, is that they're too reliant on Raga and Happyway. And of course, the team were displaying fantastic team play, great fundamentals, and a consistency that the other teams in the region just weren't. When you think about the volatility of Billy Wolves, their play styles. But this, early on, is a case of Happyway and Raga being the team that are really doing the heavy lifting. We'd love to see the other three get involved. Coconut had that clutch, but he's got to his name really at this point. As we were talking about, though, as the last round was concluding, this is going to be an explosive round. So many ultimates across the board. The initiator ultimates at that.
And likely XLG's last chance to get into this map in a real way. Absolutely throwing themselves at this. Harness Fury, Rolling Thunder, Neural Theft. Plenty to work with, especially if you can find an edge, a first kill, a ping on someone with a recon bolt, a post plant. Some work that needs to be done to set up those win conditions for XLG.
Dark cover being thrown down there over on the B site, just to make it seem like there could be a lurk coming in. And Happyway has certainly been happy to do that on his lonesome, but all the players are working towards A-Bang. Oh my god, barely caught twice on the run. Raga's hungry.
Happyway actually pushed up the left side at the same time, so great explosive moment there for XLG. Again, it's Happyway and Raga leading the way.
This is exactly what they needed. They have to worry about Link right now. There's no smoke to cover it up, and Narrate is just happy to get a forward position. This could certainly catch someone off guard.
Right with the correction he does. God, he's been good here. Trying to back away now. Rolling Thunder comes through from the attack as XLG want to disrupt Sentinels as they make this push out of Link. Timing is everything. Rolling Thunder. God, they're using all of it as well. Nightfall expended now by Sentinels. Narrate not quite ready to get up on this line. Good damage though through the wall, and Xlg has come to the rescue. Now, the Fate can keep moving. Raga is here in halls alongside Viva. Try and keep eyes on this. But that fast lane makes it tough, and Raga's chunked down to 8. These next couple of shots, critical for the duelist, so they do get second. But now it's on Viva. 1v2, Xlg on the line. Viva down to 20, and that'll do it. They've done enough, Sentinels, to get themselves to map point.
XLG just could not extract enough value out of the Rolling Thunder and the Hunter's Fury combo. Nice, sent out towards Link. Stoned up. There it launched into the air. I thought spotted, but spam never came through. Coconut just fully isolated, wrapped by the flanking Xelsis, encircled, dealt with. And then trading things out in the 3v2 are Sen. They are too clean on this map. It was a bold choice for XLG to take them here. Historically, a home for Sentinels since the John Cuny and Xelsis iteration of this team began. And they are as good as ever. This will require a monumental comeback, but second is too good right now.
In a market that would least XLG been able to set up a staging ground. This will leave. Xelsis looking a little bit stranded, but do they check this corner? Absolutely not. A freebie for Xelsis here as Raga deals with it, but it's electrified play from second. And on a fundamental level, there's not much of a game. Sentinels, a cut above China's #1.
Dropping a 20 bomb in the first half of that game. Had XLG on the back foot the entire time. Little nerve debut, but with Lotus up next. Maybe they can bounce back.
401 ACS, 27 kills for Xlg in a masterclass on Sunset. We're going to step away with XGB in the Atlas desk. We're going to break down our first map of the series.
ZEKKEN is alone enough. कितने मार आ रहे हैं बजा दिया ये मैप पे, रुला दिया। वन साइडेड रे, वन साइडेड। जेकन जेकन ओपी ओपी चल रहा हूँ चैट में भी, देख लो तुम लोग, लिख के ले लो। Did Sen lose Genji? Yes, brother. भाई क्या मैच था भाई, इजी मैच था रे, टू इजी मैच। फिर कल कैसे होगा? आज जो जीतेगा जो और उसका मैच होगा ना। ये तो इजी हो गया गाइस। इतना स्लो चल रहा इंटरनेट, इसकी बहन को लगो मक्की गिरगिरी। We're happy we had a carrying, but China teammates. Someone speeding through though. क्यों नहीं आ रहा? क्यों नहीं आ रही है? आ गई। इसकी माँ का कसम से। मेरे मच्छर आ गए पाँव के नीचे काट रहे। बल्ला भी नीचे न रखता पाँव में। कभी खुशी कभी गम, ना जुदा होंगे हम, कभी खुशी कभी प्रिया। ये इजी। फिर यहाँ से इन दोनों में से उधर जाता, एक इधर से इधर आता लोअर फाइनल में। समझ गए तुम ना? मेरे ख्याल से तो वही है। हाँ, इन दोनों में से जो जीतता, अभी इन लोगों का मैच कर ले। कल फिनाटिक को सपोर्ट करेगा गाइस, कल बैठ के फिनाटिक को सपोर्ट करते हैं। क्या बोलती पब्लिक? कल फिनाटिक को 16 जून है वो, कल तो फिनाटिक कल 50, कल एक ही मैच। हाँ परसों हो गया ना वो। फिर कल रात को, परसों रात को 9:30 को है पेपर एक्स वर्सेस सेंटिनल्स। व्हाट अ मैच। लियो वाला मैच खत्म है मसला वो दिन तो। ले है मसला वो दिन, मजा आता वो दिन। पेपर एक्स वर्सेस सेंटिनल्स, पेपर एक्स वर्सेस सेंटिनल, पेपर एक्स वर्सेस सेंटिनल। कितनी देर पट्टे, क्या हो रहा? ना जुदा होंगे हम, कभी खुशी कभी गम। है है बाला देखो सही दिख रहा था भाई के। इसको देखो हरकतां कासिफ के, चैट रिट्रीव कर रहा छोटे बच्चों में। क्या हुआ? मैं तो आते हैं। खुल जा क्रोम। नहीं होता रे लंड, नहीं हो रहेगी। हसीनो जान शहंशाह। अरे भुल्लेगा क्रोम नहीं कर रहा सी गाड़ में बुल्ला। कहाँ घूम रहा रे मुट्ठा इधर उधर। वेस्ट बाड़खो गाड़ी डैते, वेस्ट बाड़खो गाड़ी डैते, वेस्ट बाड़खो ಏನ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಬಾಡ್ಕೋ ನಿನ್ನೆರ ಪೂಕ कई सोया था, सोया सोया एक पेपर पे एक नंबर लिख रहे। क्या हो रहा है? एक पेपर पे एक नंबर लिखता क्या? मम्मी भेजे देख मेरे को, मेरे को भेजे मेरे व्हाट्सएप पे। तो पेपर पे मेरे को लिख के दे मेरे को। ठीक है छोड़, मैं लिख लेता रात को। ऑफिस बुल्ला पकड़ने जा रहा। ऑफिस गए तो फॉर्मल्स में एक पेन रहना गाइस, गोल्डन रूल है कि नहीं गाइस? क्या स्लो चल रहा है इंटरनेट भुल्ले की मेरी। इतना स्लो क्यों चल रहा है एकदम? भुल्लेगा इंटरनेट। ये करते करते मैच स्टार्ट होता लड़ा। यूट्यूब खुल जाए वही बड़ी बात है अब तो। पीसी स्लो है ये। सबसे पहले वो डीएनडी ऑफ कर। कान जाने का देखो 6 बजे बोला हमो पित्ती नव्हती ओदलेगा, पित्ती नव्हती ओदलेगा बरो। No, we don't walk, we just fuck. खुल रे यूट्यूब कांडो। कितनी देर रे मैं गांडू रे बंद करे सब। ऑल्ट ऑल्ट दबा कट करते ना जैसा क्रॉप करने का। समझ गया। ना जुदा होंगे हम जल्दी स्टार्ट करो जी आज ना। क्या रे बिक मंग्या? हाँ क्या? क्या रे बिक मंग्या? जा रे मुतोड़ा। क्या रे बिक मंग्या?
There, of course, and well, we'll see though what happens because he was talking about hope, and I think that I don't want to hear hope going into a match situation like this, Mimi, because I want to know that these guys have the confidence to be able to force this map 3, and I don't think I got that from that interview.
Yeah, you need to see that if they're going to come back and win this map. And Hope did not cut it for Billy and Wolves, both of whom got beaten on this map by Sentinels. A player I want to shout out, beyond just the way he's popping off on the stage. But Celsius, I think, is a monster on this map. If they play another Neon comp and try and go into C-hits, I think Celsius does a great job as an anchor on the vice there, at varying his setups, at playing different positions, and almost always punishing that dive player.
For Sentinels, as you're saying, there's no reason to change up their composition. If I'm not mistaken, XLG has already locked in their agents. So this is exactly what we saw in Sansa. This was what I was expecting since, you know, moving away from the Tejo, and a complete repetition of what we saw on the first map. And as I was saying, if Sentinels already had a read, the Viper,
Zekken is
the
raised,
Omen,
brother. Zekken
the
raised to
Vice,
aura,
they're going to have such
Neon or Zekken.
stopping power. They have all the things, all
Raise or
the
Zekken
ingredients
is the
that they
best
need for
combination
a
ever.
recipe of success in this defense.
XLG though playing solo controller on Lotus. Most of the top teams on this map have been playing or are going back to playing the Viper Omen instead, and it does limit your options
मैं
on
याद
attack
तो
side.
था.
It's harder to get lurks
सोचा
into
तो सही
A.
है.
It's harder to go for some of the re-clear plays there, and it also makes your post lines just a little bit weaker. So I do worry unless XLG is really on their game, they're going to be a little telegraphed on this attacking side. You don't have as much variety, and you can't create quite as much of a fog of war as you can with that Viper.
And we're seeing some of these agents get locked in here. I was curious to see what we're going to get from Xlg. He obviously go for that Vice. Very good. It's going to be a great counter for the Neon as well here. And we'll see. The thing that's worrisome to me here, Kukuka, is that this is the same composition. We just saw it happen. We saw their struggle with the spacing. We saw all of those struggles on the screen. I don't know if they have enough time to fix it.
And worst thing is that Narrate is also having a very, very impressive tournament. I think that on the previous map he was a little bit of an unsung hero because he created so many situations, so many circumstances for retakes and whatnot that I feel like especially with Zekken on the race, he's going to have that same impact on Lotus.
Well, the question we're wondering is if XLG can force a map 3 or the Sentinels end it here and now. Let's send it back to your casters to get this show going. It's Uber and Wyatt yet again.
Let's freaking go.
Pistol and
Anshu
eco
is
play.
the GOAT.
Incredible fundamentals, trading and spacing, and, well, Happyway and Raga dominating. Those are the 3 win conditions we outlined for Xlg Gaming at the start of this series, and only one of them has been present on that first map of Sunset, Wyatt.
And on the opposite side, we are looking at Zekken at his absolute best. And now going to Lotus, Raze, that's his OG agent. That is the agent that he made his name on years ago. When we're thinking about those exit days, just the other day against Billy, he was a dominant force and is even better right now. That was an all-star performance on map 1. Moments where they looked scrambled, nervous. They need to get their heads in the game right now. Sen will have ran the gauntlet, beaten every team from China. We'll move on to the next part of the bracket.
They're the only Narrate has looked inspired today. Always unexpected. Ridiculous off angles, round after round. Sheer wall drawn out here by Happyway. And the rest of XLG starting to file into rubble. Rotates being drawn across the map by the defenders.
That's Then just jump spotting on C, pressure into tree. Raga in mid-AR. Stock, this is a bizarre situation. Xelsis doesn't want to give them an inch, he doesn't want to swing.
Gonna wait, and there he goes. Emerges with a right. Another one for the 5 merchant. And then all shuts. Narrate with the swing.
Spike down A.
Xelsis eventually brought down Narrate. Also, both offenders from the defense side quelled. But the spike's loose. Second might have a timing here. Disrespect the poison orb and push through seems to be the plan. I for one am here for it. Step up on the site, Paranoia cut through. Happyway tucked along with Coconut. This paint shell definitely going to rattle the cage a little bit. There it is, Happyway brought down by it, but Coconut and John. The one-way being respected. John swings while Paranoid, and Coconut salvages the round.
There's some momentum for XLG. Disastrous open, pushing into Xelsis. Tucked back tree. Can't get the trade after Raga presses forward. I believe that was the patented Xelsis Arc Rose in the top right that gets the blind onto midi. Second had a lovely nade there towards the end, but it was just John stuck in waterfall that entire juncture of the pistol round. No HP, cut off by the dark cover one way. Brilliant start.
6-1 are XLG on this map in VCT China. Definitely their best, but I mean, Sentinels have already handled BLG and Wolves.
That being said, they've shown a lot. XLG should be very prepped for this. And as bold as we called it for them to pick Sunset into Sen, it's bold of Sen to pick this into XLG. This is right at the top of their pool.
That is Kaplan pitting Sen's best pick against that of XLG. Dual Marshall take on this round. Okay, he is a wrench in the works there over in Rubble. Also confirms there's only 1 to 2 players, so Sen have every reason to stay here on the C side of the map.
Viva got right out of that drone to get the trade. A lot of noise here being made by Rarga. Going to open the door as well. Just try and keep the focus of CNB, where they've been gamble stacking this entire time. As Viva on the opposite side of the map has been able to control the rubble area, hasn't been forced. This is an easy rotate call into the very vacant site.
And Sen just going to play catch up here. And I know we mentioned it a couple times, I don't think it can be overstated how different XLG's showing on this Sunset map has been from their play in the lead up to this tournament. The same play that qualified them. Online, they never fought alone. Had great setups. Always on a crossfire, or at least a good spacing double swing scenario. Can they find their footing here?
There.
They don't have much time to get it together.
You really saw Rarga online at his best, playing that. Yoru especially, Chamberon's occasion as well. The Neon was so disconnected from the team on Sunset. That has to be rectified.
Being here on Viva, Sen trying to get some bang for their buck at the end of the round. 2 kills for the defenders, but XLG get off to a good start on the attack side. Sen elected to start.
Happy to collect a couple kills over to their initiators, but as far as early ultimates go, it's Xlg close to that steel garden. They just got an easy little right click to open things up here.
Let's go, we win pistol, bro, let's go. Hype, hype, hype. Let's go.
Locking in, getting excited. Rarga has the Vandal into this round. Let's see if he can do something with it. Early recon to get out into rubble. Second wants to escape the baby door. Pick up a bit of a safer angle after that pressure comes through.
He immediately bailed. I think seeing the fast lane made him feel like he was not well equipped to take that fight head on. Important round to convert on for Sentinels. Pop out of B, and there's 2 players sat on that line. Coconut and Happyway out of the game. Once again, another player doubles off the line. Bang gets out, realizing that Raga's coming for him now too.
And I'm sure XLG wanted to get towards B, but realized they just have to get into A fast. Fighting occurs in main. A lot of damage done to Narrate in second. Perhaps if they had real weapons, those would have just been straight up kills, but maybe the low HP could be enough for XLG to get back into this.
Sees in towards Pit, that is definitely going to catch on the midi, decaying him down, holding him in place, and so Viva gets overwhelmed. No chance for midi to try and trade there from lower Pit. Gonna have to be a fast play now here from Sentinels, and when midi tries to gum up the works, it's Raga dealt with. And Sentinels give XLG just enough room to trip themselves within that round. Giving some space, waiting to double or triple up. Very nicely handled, that pace coming in from the attackers.
Yeah, there are multiple players stunned up. And that fault line comes through from midi for Viva to try and swing off of here. Look at that. 3 of them, in fact. Really hoping there'd be maybe 2 players up there. Certainly not 4. One of them is able to get out of the way of that fault line.
And honestly, Sen was such a clean play into the XLG bonus. Have pretty even footing now into this round number 4. Still Garden, developed by Xlg, someone you mentioned was pivotal on this map and their run to playoffs. Already been showing a little bit of that magic.
Yeah, as soon as he picked up the Vice, even back in kickoff, Xlg was putting up some of the most impressive maps we have ever seen from him. Statistically speaking, it was Lotus, it was Vice. Making his presence known. XLG do a good job of getting this wall procced very early into the round. Not able to deal with the thorns that are littered across that C site, but at the very least that will keep Xlg feeling threatened as things progress.
We've seen how hard it is to sort of trigger that wall without your clone or something similar with these Neon comps. You do risk that little shoulder peek out of the seat. Now it's time for SLG to double back and return. Razorvine got Raga briefly.
Feeling Dimin!
That shield to get onto the side. Once again, Sen are going to allow for this, Wyatt. They want the full retake behind. They're still guarding.
It's going to be ripped right now. Raga's pressed up very far forward with his weak weapons. It's too easy.
John and Xlg combined for 4. Finally, Midi will have access to
it.
Narrate cuts him to the quick. Drop pistol. They have evened up the game.
Outrageous value from the early Steel Garden that Xlg got access to. As this round closes out, Zekin doing enough to earn his showstopper as well. So advantages continue to cycle for Sentinels. Camping mad at Xlg, trying to get some point space. That is always a win condition when you're getting the spike down on C.
No good, no
They're
good,
not
no
able
good.
to push far enough to get out of the Steel Garden. They didn't have an opportunity to retreat to a little pocket that was on the edge of halls. Ultimately dealt with so easily as they have classics in that scenario.
Another valuable defense side round for Sen. They feel like they're worth 2 attack side rounds on this map sometimes. Zekin sees it out.
Rom भाइयों system पार देंगे.
That's the omen gone. No more control util for Xlg to get into any of these sites. Means they can't cover off stairs. They can't cover off B.
बिना damage लिए गांड मार के
They
निकल
can't
गया.
smoke for a safe trigger of the sheer wall on C either.
Looks like the split at M4B is coming as the fault line goes down.
नेड मारता.
Nothing to cut off Heaven. Raga, does he want to push for more? Going to slide across. Trying to get someone to swing off of him. Relay Volt decent. Forces Sen back. Wipe down.
But they can't stall the relay. They don't have any dark covers. Rolling Thunder though comes out. Xlg hoping to fight with it, but there wasn't really an opportunity. Zekin gets in there, downed by Midi Stinger, and Shorty will get the job done. Smoke the over towards that baby door direction. Viva needs to make a decision here. Can he peek on a timing with Happyway? It's awkward with the Marshall to try and get a retake, and now he's going to be revealed essentially by the Prowler. Happyway taking pot shots, but doesn't quite have the accuracy. He's not trained on the mark. And that's a DQ. Seems to be looking a little uncomfortable towards the end of the round.
बैंक कहीं को तो नाच रहा उसके सामने आके मुजरा कर रहा है.
But that is 3 in a row from the America squad.
That's simply nothing the Xlg IGL could get accomplished. Trapped in Baby Door. Zekin just feeling like, damn, I got my showstopper already. I guess I'll just use it to win this anti. Why not? Free little kill to set things up. Lack of smokes when the execute comes through. Xlg risk a lot going for the Rolling Thunder to push in the spawn, which is essentially nullified just by Bang. Anyhow, on this full buy, early A fight is going to commence. Xlg getting out fast. Raga using that lane to get forward. Sen want none of it. They peel back to the site.
Looks like Coconut ulted for some information. Second down, that's Duelist out of the way. Happyway leads. It gets aggressive, but Bang's able to spray down through the box. A good TP away, and Narrate picks up the line for him. Again, defensive trading, very, very strong for Sentinels. And they swing around that corner. Bang is handled. Viva, though, low. Sen have given up this A site now.
You know that John retreats temporarily. Xlg is silently working downstairs, hoping that... Oh my god, what a double face! That's beautiful from Xlg.
And that our drone isn't going in John's direction. He is able to slip past it. Coconut, though, finds it. John knows approximately where the Sova was. But Coconut holds it down while his teammate was in the drone.
There we go. There's some of those good fundamentals that we are calling on Xlg to have. Even when that execute is getting scary, chaotic. Center doing a nice job fighting backside. There was another great paranoia from Bang. They're able to still double up, fight together. They clear out Xlg, who is silently rapping downstairs. Well played.
Where is Raga? Where is Raga?
Here.
Quiet game, to say the least.
Hasn't been fully needed so far. Happyway continues to pick up some of the slack. Viva has a great round there with a Guardian too. Sen have had a great economy building though, so they're on an easy full buy here.
This time, no pomp and circumstance, no fanfare about this A-side take. Xlg are allowed to simply walk up.
Lightball could come out from there, stunned up.
He's got to get right across to the side. They know he's here. Xlg gets the drop on him. And the Razorvine means that nobody can follow up on the Neon. Oh god, no one is looking in Narrate. Once again, the timing that Xlg are just not ready for. In this round, the round here is really going to hurt the Chinese #1 squad. They pop up for air. Hard fought round 1. And immediately sent packing again.
They just want to go for the full A execute fast. Sentinels making a good decision, good read on this round to pivot that Xlg's utility setup over to A. Everything there. And XLG just rushed things right past the sheer wall. It cuts off any help for Raga, who's further kept at bay as the Thorns are on the ground. I believe there was an additional flash too. Xelsis again, that arc rose. It's just always in that same spot, at upper tree. That's again the XLG duelist being disconnected, isolated.
10 seconds left.
It was awfully quick into the site, but I think they heard him cross. There's a player of Baby Door on a cover of smoke. Sensei, we don't have to fight hard for rubble this round. We're going to let you walk into that Sentinel util and hit you on the flood back in.
Nere too just able to get in a nice close-up tuck position, hold a crossfire. Obviously with good reason. We've talked so much about Zekin in this series. He was unreal on Sunset. But Nere had so many high-impact kills. Didn't rack him up to the top of the board, but he was getting on several rounds. The most important kill. His util has been really strong. He's having a great game. Great tournament at that. He was the best player for Sen in their opener against Wolves.
Generally, obviously, it takes a moment with Xelsis to ask him who his bestie is going to be in this game. Who is he looking at on the other side of the stage to try and get in their head? Maybe interact with him a little bit. He said undeniably Raga. So far, he has had the better of Raga in every single encounter that they have had.
We've seen a similar story like this before at international events, where a team goes on an incredible run, and then they debut in the playoffs because they get to skip the group stage, but they're fresh to the pressure, to the prestige of an international event, and there's nerves. They get off to a slow start.
Even Kaplan said, with how the logistics work at the venue when getting set up, we have had to work really hard to get a routine established that lets us be energetic when we get to the stage. He said that's been a big reason why their starts have been slow. And XLG are just now figuring that out the hard way.
Reminds me of the team most analogous to
when
LG2, the guard, debuted on LAN years ago after being on a sick run, then starting in the playoffs and struggling at their first event. Both of these teams, the two best ascended teams we have now. Hard to not draw comparisons.
This is XLG who are filling the shoes of EDG, which is a big job. As the top representative from their scene. Access gained to the C side, but as usual, Sen will allow for this.
Billy, sorry, Billy.
It'll be a flood behind the Nightfall to get back in.
Two hero rifles and the two best aimers from XLG. Raga wants to push forward. He's hungry for that first kill.
Oh no! Raga wins it out. He's first in the game. Eventually he'll fall, but he feels like he's probably done enough now. Narrate wanted to get ahead of this. In fact, all of Sentinels disrespecting. Here's that flood. Midi on the line, marked down. Of course, decayed quite low by that Nightfall. Coconut still gets his. Beaver going to be pinged out to the back of the site now. Nuruk left here for the attackers and Happyways somehow wended his way behind Sentinels. It's all on John. Plenty to see, a lot of targets to go for, and he knows, of course, those pulsing tethers where he needs to look.
Unfortunate.
Happyway gives him a tickle. He's got 3 bullets left in the chamber. No time to reload. An unlikely round win for XLG, but a much needed one at that.
It's taken us a while, but we finally get an XLG bad bye round win. They had gotten away with things just like this countless times during their run in China. Finally able to flip the script on Sen, get their economy going, which has been a struggle throughout this entire series so far.
Ungodly flank timing from Happyway really unraveled that for Sentinels. Another rubble fight here, like he said, won't contest this whatsoever. So now it'll be Raga pitted up against Bang at the A side.
We've really seen this from Sen on Lotus a lot in this tournament as a whole. Not particularly aggro in the early rounds. They're not running it down. They're not sending it. They're letting things come to them, letting the game come to them.
It's the loss of the breach in this comp for Sentinels as well. They have a little bit less to disrupt with. You know, usually the Omen and Breach could double up there with the duels.
5-4
Well timed on this pit. John throws down to stop any aggression towards C. Drone hoping to be used to clear him out, but he's able to get out of the way. And with the drone expired, you just really can't feel comfortable trying to get through the pit. So this is a pivot back to A, where a couple XLG players are inserted.
Is there a timing out of tree to be found for Sentinels? Xlg seems to think so. Door toggled. Bang takes an off angle, turns the flash. That's going to be checked for. Relay bomb comes in, but they're not ready for this. Xlg in the corner. Narrate from upper. The call from Sentinels. Stopping Xlg in their tracks.
XLG threw just so much utility into tree, but not getting the connections with it. Relay bolt. I don't believe pings onto anyone there.
No, it goes past them. Onto the side through tree.
Bang just able to assist second, press that close.
Oh no, they got pinged off that recon bolt.
Recon connected, the relay did not. Narrates there so fast to pick up Heaven. He cuts off the other duo that are trying to wrap into the site on the split from tree and main. And XLG right back onto the eco for what feels like the millionth time in this game. They've had such economic struggles throughout the series.
All right, snaps himself up a big daddy for this round. Odin in the hands of the Fade. Viper composition over at the C side of the map is a little more than XLG would like to see there. Oh god. All right. Thought Marshall was going to blow some minds there. What can Xlg do here? XLG trying for a bit more of a meticulous approach to this bad buy. Break crosshair with Raga and follow up on it. Xlg gets out, he can sniff that something isn't right. Paranoia comes in, but he spaced this out a little bit with his own paint shells. Bought time now for the rest of the defenders. Hunt's Fury deployed onto the map, and XLG have unfettered access now to this B side. John will be forced away by this aftershock.
With some great util from them to get in. Heads up from Narrate. The positioning of Happy Way. The one hero rifle for XLG will have to come up huge with a flank timing, something.
The Paranoia, maybe a seize to let them flood in behind when they don't have the rim, or rather the breach flashes to work with. So far, so good. Still weaker weaponry for the attackers. Paranoia connects, Narrate deals with Happy Way, and Viva now takes some pot shots in through that smoke. John has to get on the defuse, but Coconut's already found some damage, a better weapon maybe. It's half. John will be protected by Xlg. 6 defense side rounds for Sentinels. Have to make the coaching booth pleased.
It doesn't get much closer than that. John down to 1 from the shock dart that came through. Had to get off before he could actually hack the spike. That was looking more than dangerous. It seemed that XLG did enough, but Xlg stepping up. 2 isolated 1v1s. XLG not swinging together in that moment. Looked like Viva just couldn't get out wide enough through door, perhaps. Pretty disastrous, so winnable. Slips through their grasp. They've got a full buy. They've got a rolling thunder.
Sen actually throws a more decisive A-side variation. A bit of rubble presence. It doesn't pan out, though, XLG or elsewhere. They've got so much, a veritable ton of util to try and fight through it again. The sliding past the shingle. Where's the backup supposed to be for Raga?
Early in this half, they were able to get rid of those walls and then work the map, try to go for an execute late. These fast hits are just not going to pan out when you're not getting accurate information on the Vice. You just cannot run into Xelsys setups like that.
Are they assuming that Xelsys is at A again? There's no attempt to force that wall out.
Being forced to teleport away now, so XLG are going to get a bit of control towards rubble. 40 seconds still rolling thunder in hand. Will there be an opportunity to even use that to try and get back in this round where they're at a man disadvantage?
30 seconds left.
They want to pivot back to C. There's still so much util here. Happy Way tries to find a timing. He does get in first, clears out some of the thorns.
Paint shell could end him though. Nope, Xelsys gets to him first. A com level flank play from Happy Way over the course of this map, but it's too low to do anything there at that side. That's a save here for XLG. Whichever way you slice it. They'll have high hopes to make use of this Rolling Thunder overdrive couple in the last round of the half.
That's going to be their only hope, as the cash is lower than low. He's going to need to step up this overdrive. He has been so disconnected from the team. It's resulted in his 10 deaths at the moment. This was an issue on Sunset that simply had to be fixed on Lotus. But XLG's willingness to rush some of these hits to try to get in quickly is on 2 occasions on buy rounds, just ultimately ended up in their demise. This is it for them. Rorga has the Bucky with the overdrive at that. They're getting out fast on A. It's Bang actually who's picked up the Odin right now.
No haunt pings though, nothing yet to play off of.
They have dodged the Prowler that Nerek just sent to get some info, so perhaps some false information. They want to contact off the back of that Prowler, not connect Express up a bit far forward. It's a baby door. They want to get into this big site right now. Rorga going forward with the overdrive. Vulnerable up. Can he even find a target? How deep does he want to push?
John still respects it. They're trying to set up a multi-phase situation. Rorga down to 49. He's got himself 2. And that's going to have to be enough. Joe's up for second. Fire! Oh, man! And the paint shells! He's doing it all!
Not only does he stop the plant, but that's the Rolling Thunder gone.
Now Coconut trying to figure out if there's a way to make use of this from the shadows.
Nice one. 1v2.
But instead he goes to the Shadow Realm. Second and Bang are in no hurry. It's up to Happyway. He's definitely the most inspired component of this XLG outfit to try and make this respectable 5 rounds in this first half.
30 seconds
Can get this plant down safely, which he does. Will have an opportunity to throw that neural back. There we go. He knows where to look.
Now sometimes even if you know what's coming, it doesn't make it any easier. It's second with 3. And Sen complete get another 8 to 4 half. On a map named themselves knowing well that was XLG's best battleground.
2 of the rounds, XLG earning the pistol and initial anti-eco. By the way, the gun rounds dominant from Sen. They are playing so well today.
Got a quick break here, a chance for XLG to take their breath, and they need it. Stick around and see if this Chinese team can find their feet and composure after this.
रुको मैं काम करके आता, तब तक तुम ये देखते रहो, ठीक है? 2 सेकंड प्लीज.
Shed the nerves away.
We said they had one of their 3 win conditions in that first map and it wasn't enough. This time they got 0. Raga gets off to a start. Let's see if it's going to be a good one. Xlg has just had his number the entire game, and this round is no exception. Coconut's on a flank here, but they hear the footsteps, the pitter-patter bang is already Viva steps up. John is just too clean with it. It's on Happyway, who's not been able to reprise that incredible performance from Sunset.
As a owner of Sentinels,
has been a little quiet.
Is it a good idea from XLG? Sure, but the execution falls to pieces. Where are the trades? Where is the good spacing that we saw from them in their run?
Timing.
Just crumbles in that moment. Can Happyway be a hero? Catches John on the cross. Isolated 1v1.
Bang रुका.
By Bang.
उसका spike रख के रुका. Confidence.
That could be the nail being driven into the coffin of XLG. He swings, disjointed. He's got the flash out, not the gun out to assist Viva.
Nice. Okay.
Coconuts
we won that round, but
too far ahead on that initial swing.
And even though these rounds have been won by Sentinels, you can see they're not fully satisfied. I mean, Kaplan does seem a little bit more relaxed than usual.
He's allowing Qbert to watch the game once again.
He's removed him from the corner, unblindfolded him. So this is, well, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. XLG are praying to whatever god they believe in that Sentinels blunder into the B site. Eventually they're going to have to go hunting themselves. They have 0 info. Outside of this cam that's watching Mound, that so far has yielded nothing. Maybe a multi-push off this B main position, but Happyway, he had it all to do on that corner with the Sheriff.
With the Cypher pressed up so close there, dying alone. Sentinel, they're just supposed to accelerate into this C site. The rest of XLG with classics only. They're the only one here to deal with him so far. Raga gets 1 trade.
Yeah, this thing is here for Sentinels. Will have plenty of application. Raga's got a Bulldog to hand currently. There is the quad stack that XLG tried to set up at the start of the round, just got used against them, albeit with better guns.
That long-range stinger coming into play.
10-4, easy,
for XLG.
13-4.
Sentinel's bonus round buy is not incredible. Could certainly imagine a scenario where they want to hit just a fast B execute, get Zekin up close with the stinger, try to get him into heading off with the satchel. Shocked to see something like that. Oh, does switch it up actually. Throws the stinger elsewhere. Maybe exact same plan, but just do it on C. Raga wants to fight. He loves to fight Mound early. Did this a lot when he was playing Yoru on this map. During the Taeho meta, which they were leaning into heavily.
We've seen so much less of that sort of Mound fighting happening here in Toronto in this current meta wire. Sen especially have not gone for those early fights.
Now look, you have that deep cam placed into Mound by Happyway early again. Sentinels are opting to leave Xlg in this position, keep their options open for a potential pivot back as they want to re-clear towards Mound in this mid-round. There does have a Prowler to get out here, potential Haunt as well. Stun onto Xlg, they want to isolate this fight. Raga pushing forward, great double peek. I love that proactivity to find an advantage. That's going to give away the game as well. Look at the rotation from XLG on the top of the map, taking out that Sentinel. They know the hit is going to be coming into A.
Zekin's got one job and one job only, but Viva had the stopping power of a Mack truck to take the raise out of the round. Bang, drill with bullets through the boxes. Narrate getting just the kind of engagement the Stinger player wants. John's actually got a rifle to play with.
Enemy remaining.
He will be the last one standing.
Spike down A.
Right for Prince. John steps up, knocks it down. Like you mentioned, not a great bonus here from Sen, but XLG
nice bonus.
Get the drop on Xlg over at Mound. Convert to a nice little A retake.
That's exactly why they have that cam there. They get a good little mid-round moment for Happyway to suddenly enter it. Gets the view on Xlg. But that's just a guy with a stinger. We have Neon, Relay Bolt, let's just get that fast double peek. Qbert, it's going to be okay.
Blink twice if you're in danger.
Now here we go. Sentinels fully buying up into this. Narrate to the attack side, Odin even. XLG early, triple walk down the mountain side. Recon Bolt dealt with. Viva takes some damage on the jump spot, but does get the valuable early information.
The XLG, yeah, I mean, this mount position can be effective if you are able to scale off of it. But there's a sheer wall that Xlg can use to watch for that kind of push behind Sentinels. We'll let them know at least in advance that they have a timer against them. Narrate pinged out, so needs to back away to the safest spot possible.
Still waiting.
Got the Odin here, so definitely want to work as many of these corners as possible. In fact, the B side was just the one for that. This door toggle, Xlg has to call this quickly. He's able to avoid the paranoia, but he doesn't want to take this fight.
They've left second all the way over in tree on A, by the way, as they're trying to get stuff wrong. Again, able to find an opener. And it's a pivot back as Second is just taking this forward position. Can Hathaway catch him? Yes, he does. Second shot inside.
Sen here making a couple of rough assumptions. And Narrate is getting involved again with the Odin. No one getting pinged out by that recon. Bang with a smoke on upper, but still no plant. That spike is loose.
This is XLG just taking the time, ready to pounce when the spike gets tapped. 15 seconds left.
Playing close and Raga. That is a full Ferrari pick there for Nang.
10
Nicely
seconds
jumped.
left.
7 seconds left. Still needs to be applied at some point. John taken down by Coconut. Off that push from stairs.
Player standing.
And it's all on Bang. Bulldog with Midi and Viva standing in his way. Wraps around, but XLG are doubled up there. Not willing to take 1v1, but Bang's not going to give him the bloody choice. 4 kills with a Red Bull clutch.
What the fuck?
And Sen once again, grasp at the next round of playoffs.
XLG just cannot be giving that away this late in the game.
Sheesh, brother.
Bang,
Bang,
the
bang.
initial
4 bullets
kill.
ke bas.
The paranoia
4
into
mein
the
mara.
swing on Raga at Waterfall to bring it into the
4
3
bullets are
versus
enough,
3.
brother.
As Coconut just swings onto him a little bit early before the players from Heaven could descend into the site. Doesn't wait to play off the fault line or the flash. He's punished for it. This is frankly the best map that Bang has had so far in this tournament. XLG are in so much danger. And at a moment that felt unlosable, there were only 15 seconds on the clock.
And now Sentinel's expecting some form of reprisal from XLG. Very passive, looks over towards the A side. Inching forward on B. Outlaw for Zekin. It's a perfect round for it.
Slow take of Mount using the Prowlers from Narrate. Very passive here as John just trying to ensure that no one from XLG pushes too deep. Second taking the peek. What? Whiffs onto Midi. Rapid Sheriff shot.
And then Mini can just have himself an outlaw. All of a sudden, the weaponry from XLG looks much improved.
That was bold from Zekin. He's swinging potentially into multiple angles where he could have even kind of just traded out, but now Midi has picked up the outlaw. A couple light armor / regen for Sen as they walk towards these trips necessary to break it. Spike is here, and Narrate.
Nightfall now available here for Narrate. Bang also with it from the shadows. A lot to work with, and the spam is going to be deadly from this Odin. A very permeable piece of wall stands between Sen and XLG, and Raga hopes to step up. Razorvine here is definitely going to be respected. Still not yet applied, and Narrator's gone down. The spike is loose. John's going to come forward. It's him and Delsis versus the entirety of XLG's combined might. And Delsis with the spray down gets him there. What an absurd way to end it. Sentinels descend into Bloodlust and set up match point.
XLG just need to rush in there, stop the spike from going down. Multiple situations now where there is little to no time on the clock for Sentinel to get the spike down. There's so much excellent pressure from XLG coming in. Things are again disconnected. Coconut just a little bit too fast. The 3 of them not swinging together. Xlg able to take advantage. The bait of the spike plant tucked into the corner to get the 2-man spray down. Some elation for Kaplan and feeling of desperation for Havoya.
देखते ना राउंड देखते और टाइम आउट ही है ना वैसे
into multiple angles where he could have even gotten just traded out, but Media has picked up the Outlaw. A couple light armor / regen for Sen as they walk towards these trips necessary to break it. Spike is here.
Nightfall now available here for Narrate. Bang also with it from the shadows. A lot to work with, and the spam is going to be deadly from this Odin. A very permeable piece of wall stands between Sen and XLG, and Raga hopes to step up. Razorvine here is definitely going to be respected. Still not yet applied, and Narrator's gone down. The spike is loose. John's going to come forward. It's him and Delsis versus the entirety of XLG's combined might. And Delsis guessing there. What an absurd way to end it.
Best round, best round.
Sentinels descend into bloodlust.
Best round.
And set up match point.
XLG just need to rush in there, stop the spike from going down. Multiple situations now where there is little to no time on the clock for Sentinels to get the spike down. There's so much excellent pressure from XLG coming in. Disconnected Coconut just a little bit too fast. Three of them. Again disconnected. So much excellent pressure from XLG coming in. Again disconnected Coconut just a little bit too fast. The three of
Themselves after a shocker in Bangkok.
GG.
It's slow from Sen to open things up, expecting that out of the timeout there could have been an incredibly proactive play from the defenders, pushing at them. It's Raga alone in mount. Danger as Celsius does spot him out. As you mentioned, this Hunter's Fury available. That could be the crux of XLG winning this and staying in the game.
There's the smoke. This might be a pretty quick one. Sen really angling for a powerful post climb with a Viper's Pit in the mix. Coconut feels the pressure. It's immense. Second now in the show, sort of holding on to this for a time. What's the timing going to be?
30 seconds
able to
left.
avoid it. Here is that Viper's Pit though. All of that retake, you two are going to start to be expended by XLG. They're going to try to find a way into this pit. Coconut starts though. Seconds down. John is down, and so is the pit.
Nice
on top of the Razorvine. XLG have found some step, but Bang and Narrate still stand in their way, and Bang, careful on the corner. Swing on Raga, reads low, the slide is good. And now it's Narrate. He'll be revealed in a moment, but he'll do the same. Throw that seize in. Spray around the corner. Raga to half, and out the way. Keeps XLG's head above the surging tides.
Their star duo activate in the 2 versus 2. Look at the way that they take care of Bang on that angle. Raga's movement just baits it out of that position and swings wide. Sliding deep, happy way, able to capitalize off of Bang's crosshair placement being broken. The first step taken in an arduous journey back into this game. But XLG have managed to, at the very least, put Sen onto an eco. Just given they did so much damage in those prior rounds, that they certainly walked away from feeling like they should have even won. Sen, all players stacked up a mount, probably gets the info.
What? The long range stinger. Coconut, who stood tall in that last retake, has already fallen. Chance for a gun recovery. Bucky Town is exactly where Raga gets dragged. Narrate is low. It is a rifle pick up for Zach, and John goes to work. XLG thrust onto the stage, thrust into the spotlight to speak on behalf of their region. Against the juggernaut of Sen that is dispatched their countrymen one by one by one. Now put it all on Viva. Sentinels have no incentive to push off this site whatsoever. They'll await the chime of the victory music. Viva down at 15 is all too much to do for XLG and
GG. Kata easy game.
The last door of China.